Hello, everyone. Welcome to Amazing Plastic Sunday Hangout. I'm your host extraordinaire, Scratch and Jack. Amazing Plastic is a Google Plus community of skilled modelers of all shapes and sizes, interests, genres, and skill levels who like to share their tips and tricks with one another and learn more about their craft and revel into one of a revel. That's a company. Otherwise, celebrate one another's skilled modeling achievements. Today we have our members from Amazing Plastic and followers from Amazing Plastic to share what they got going on. Speaking of going on, what's going on there, Bob?
Right now I'm actually masking off the 747 body.
Uh-huh.
I'm working on the base for my duck and just kind of hanging out today. On vacation this week, so.
Oh, then you'll get that done by the end of the week, no doubt, huh?
Got it. Maybe. Who knows?
That's your heroes build for some other group?
Yep, for sci-fi model action, but it's over already, so.
Oh, what did...
I didn't get done in time.
What did other people build there? I just wonder.
There was a vinyl Batman figure, another space shuttle, the 1966 Batcopter, which is really cool. Bill did Storm from X-Men. He sculpted that.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah. Bill Tate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to think what else was in there. Armando did the giant 36-inch Hulk figurine, a vinyl kit.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So there weren't too many that did science real. They did science fiction or comics. Is that right?
Yeah. There was somebody who did a Bell X1 or said they were going to, but nothing was ever posted. So.
I see. Yeah, I got the same kit as you, and well, before the broadcast, I told you what was going on with it. First time I ever built a 747. It's a big kit. It's satisfying because it's big, you know. I haven't had a big kit like this yet built. Next up, we have Carwin. How you doing, Carwin?
Not too bad. Yeah, not too bad. I've been working on my Tomb of the Cyberman pistol.
I was going to say, you're building some firearms there.
Yeah. So it's coming along. It's all right, but I'm currently rounding the edges. Take the edge off before I clad it. So I'm just doing all seam filling and stuff like that, really. Just waiting for putty to dry.
And is there anything else on your bench, or you just got finished or something?
There's a mess. There's stuff. There's just stuff.
Well, that just means you're a productive modeler. I don't understand how some modelers can be in pristine working conditions. We're not building a model.
No, this is far from pristine. I mean, this is almost a disaster movie.
That sounds like Hollywood is your calling.
Well, I've got a Martian, what do they call them? Walk-in thingies from all the worlds over in the distance.
Oh, the Martian walker.
Yeah, if I line it up right, it looks like my desk's being attacked.
Nice. Nice. Oh, that's really cool. It's good to see that there's a wall in front of you. When I actually get on Hangouts with people, I'm like, do they have actually a wall, or are we just peering into an empty space? That's cool. So you got some happenings going on your desk, and you got the tripod after you.
Yeah. Well, the tripod's been that's quite old now. That's been going on for 15 years.
That's why you're building again, just in case, huh?
Yeah, well, it's over there. The house is actually, the house which is falling down is actually falling down, so I've got to glue it back together. So yeah, I've got things going on, but I want to get this gun done first before I can move on to other things, because I'm one of those people who's got several things on the go and is not really getting anything finished.
Good. Very good. And James, I see you're at your bench.
I am at my bench. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm working on the skins for the lower nacelle on the left wing. So.
Oh, okay. Those are skins?
The skins, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they go on. They're going on the lower part of the wing.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're the skins over the engine area.
Okay.
Man, the last time I glued skins together, I was stoned as hell for the next couple of
days. So, anyway, that's what I'm up to.
You've been working on that for a long time, but then again, you said you've been taking off from the summer because the weather's been so nice.
Yeah.
Do a lot of activities outdoors.
Yeah, well, I like to enjoy it, but we had too bad a winter here this year that stuck inside, so I've taken advantage of most of the good weather, mind you, between all the raindrops.
Sure, yeah, it's been raining here today. Today it rained quite a bit.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, he had a good thunderstorm this morning. It was fun to listen to.
Yeah, where'd you hear that from? From me.
From you.
Everybody watching out there, if you're on the Hangout and there's a thunderstorm going on, it's sharing with everybody.
I thought it was either a thunderstorm or you were really, really hungry. One of the two. I'm not.
So, Jay, what's up? What are you doing?
Right at the moment, I am continuing work on super detailing the Defiant. I got the Luna from Destination Moon put together, and I would show it, but it's in the paint booth right now. I hit it with a layer of black so that I can paint it. I was painted it with all-clad. I was originally going to paint it with titanium because they outright say in the movie that it's titanium. But titanium has a very gold tint to it. And there's no place in that movie where it looks gold. It actually looks like aluminum or even a little bluish. So I decided to pick up a bottle instead of all-clad airframe aluminum. And I'm going to run a test first by putting in just like a drop or so of all-clad candy blue to see if that'll add just the slightest little blue tint to the aluminum, and that'll look good. And I've started work on the kit version of the Daedalus refit. So
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah, I got the kit here for you to do it.
well, I've got the parts that don't come from that I've started on. So.
Right. Well, I didn't even ask you how soon you needed it, so I'll time my mailing to you. I don't even know. I think there's a post office on the way to work, but I don't know if it's open. I get up pretty early to go to work.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, that's aside, neither here nor there. But yeah, that's just to show you that there's modelers out here helping one another, trying to get that stuff moving along, and you're going to. Really looking forward to seeing another one. You're also building a very large Daedalus too.
Oh yeah, I haven't done much on that. I did build the who was it? Pegasus Hobbies came out with two of my favorite rocket ships from the 50s.
Sidetracked.
The Cosmostrator and the Luna from the Cosmostrator is from a really bad science fiction movie called First Spaceship on Venus. I put some photos up on the site. It's a beautiful spaceship, but it's just a bad movie. And Destination Moon, it's a classic. And when I do show that one, I went so far as to open up the airlock door and actually build the miniature airlock inside it, and it's lighted. So I built an airlock. The thing is about the size. It's about the size, a little bigger than a nickel. Was the area, and maybe a half-inch tall. So I and there's no overhead lighting in it, so I lit it from the side around, and it looks really nice. And I'll put some pictures up once it's done.
Okay, very good. And another young gentleman here would be Phil.
Young, thank you.
what's on your bench?
Well, this afternoon I finished the Dazzle color.
Oh, look at that! He's got a camera.
And put the well, it's the easiest way to show it rather than trying to move it in front of the camera here. And put the waterline stripe on, so now that's ready for a gloss coat. Well, kind of, because as I sit here looking at the bow, I can see a great gaping mistake, so a little bit of touching up to do. And I ground to a bit of a halt on other construction because I found out I really needed a PE bender. There's some interesting pieces of photo etch that I need to make. I really need to bend them properly. So I started on the PT109, and that's actually the cab top and the instrument panel section of the PT109. So that's an interesting kit, the old Lindbergh kit. I think they've used it's the original mold. It hasn't been reworked, and I think they actually used the original styrene recipe as well, because it's actually fun. So it's sitting there full of putty at the moment. So yeah, it's an easy thing to build because it's so big, but it's a little bit of a respite from the tiny parts from the Missouri. So that's me for the moment.
Okay, very good. And for me, I'm still working on getting those parts in from for the Miranda. I have a Reliant kit. I'm going to have a Miranda built with no roll bar on it. So it's been about 3 or 4 weeks I've been waiting for them. I ordered the wrong ones. But I went on ahead and did a bash kit. I think Eric out there would be happy to know that I did a bash kit. But I had a problem with the side collectors. These are pretty solid. And I tried hogging them out, but I can't get it even enough for a nice light, and then I poked a hole through it. So what I ended up doing was casting, made a rubber mold. Here, let's see, this rubber mold is kind of amateurish. It's my first mold ever. And there's actually some resin inside, clear resin inside. It's curing. It's half filled. So I'm making two, one just a dome and one with the whole collar. And in fact, I have the whole collared one here. It's still curing, but it's acting like a lens. So in doing all of this, I started another kit. It's just what Bob is doing. And I'm just this far. That's where I am. And, well,
I don't know about anybody else, but for me right now, Jack, your picture's frozen and you look like a really angry cop showing his badge.
Let's see. Okay. I appreciate you telling me that.
Letting you know.
You're just black.
The picture's gone black.
Okay. I'm having trouble connecting to the internet again.
Yeah.
You sound good.
So I'll just go ahead and. So you didn't see any of the stuff that I was showing?
Yeah, we saw the we saw the half dome clear one that you have in the mold that you were holding up.
Okay. Well, so I just moving on. I can't share anything, can I? All right. It just came back. Is my camera moving again?
Not yet.
No. Still black for us.
It's black for you. All right. Talk amongst yourselves while I get this fixed.
Okay. So, Jack's gone. Except it looks like he's back.
Twice.
Well, I can see his face and his feet at the same time. There's something wrong.
Considering he's only got one camera, that's weird.
Phil, you know you're Missouri.
Yeah.
Do you when you're painting it, because it's so big, like, do you have to have like mini foghorns, just in case it starts raining? I mean, that's a beast of a model, man. I've got to hand it to you. I don't think I could build a model that big.
Well, it was spraying. It was interesting. I went to Harbour Freight and bought a high volume, low pressure air gun to spray it. But it was, I mean, the gun was quite nice and laid down paint, but it would lay down too much paint. You know, the droplets were too big for the model. It was very difficult, and that's how I ended up with bleed. So what I ended up doing was taking my my trusty iWater up into the garage and using that. So I actually when I redid the dazzle coat, I did the whole thing with an airbrush with a 2-ounce cup. So it took a while, but the paint was easy to control.
Yeah, because I mean, you're doing modeling from a different. Most people are doing modeling that is, you know, desktop models and stuff like that. There's not many people that got to face the challenge of doing a 5-foot model.
It does present its challenges. The biggest one is I don't have a bench to put it on. So it's okay while I'm building, you know, the small guns and whatever, but there's a point in time when I'm going to be actually needing to work on the model itself. So,
well, you can always put a desk on top of it.
well, well, maybe the extension that I've got planned to display it in might be done by then, so I can work on it in there.
Yeah, but I mean, it is a very different sort of build, because anytime you've got a larger scale, you're obviously dealing with different volumes of paint, different mixes, different mix ratios. Well, same ratios but different quantities.
Yeah. Well, there's that's the container of ocean grey that I mixed up, which is the main base colour for it.
Yeah.
So I have enough there to do perhaps 2 or 3 of them. So it was better to have too much than too little, because I had to mix those colours. You can't buy them.
Cool.
But yeah, it's still fun. Well, what's not fun is the small parts have got actually smaller. I don't think I have not had small parts on any model I build as on this one.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. When you get a bigger model, you get a lot more smaller parts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You get a lot more detail on that. So, yeah, but I got to be honest, I love it. I think it's a brilliant model.
It's an impressive model. I like it a lot. I don't know that I would ever tackle it.
Gee, I'm just having a lot of trouble here.
Oh, you're back.
Well, okay. Well, let's move on. I have here Nick built this, and I think it's awesome.
Last year's Snoopy, yeah.
Oh, it's Red Baron. It's Snoopy Red Baron, yeah.
And my question to you guys is, well, is this a serious build or is this just for fun build?
It's both.
Well, yeah. He puts serious effort into it, and it's a lot of fun.
It's a fun looking build. It's got comedy to it, but I mean, you can clearly see from the skill that he's used that it's just from the way he's modelled the clouds, you know, the smoke. He's really put a lot of good work into it. So yeah, it's a fun finished item, but it's a serious build, yeah.
And he did it first.
Mm-hmm.
I think he built that last year.
What would be a build for? What have you guys ever built one, or are you thinking of building one? Because I certainly have my thoughts.
Building one what? Just
a kit that would be not considered like really serious, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, fun build? So, yeah.
It's a fun build, you know what I'm saying? It's not like, how should I put it?
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, I've done that sometimes. The two spaceships I just built were really very fast builds, and they were just to break away from some of the really heavy detail stuff I've been doing. So yeah, and sometimes I'll put together a really just ridiculous thing for no particular reason. I had one of those plastic eggs that Legs Pantyhose came. I had years back. A girlfriend of mine always bought those, and I always told her, "Give me those," because they're styrene plastic. And one afternoon, I was just sitting there, and I decided, what the heck, and I cut a little hatch in the side, and I made from Mork and Mindy, I made Mork's spaceship.
Uh-huh.
You know, just as a quick throwaway build. And then I gave it to her, and then she moved to Florida, and I've never seen it since.
Uh-huh. Well, my thinking is that I want to build the George Jetson car, or flying car.
Yeah,
it's George and Astro, the dog, and I think the figures, the two figures I'm speaking of, are already made. All you got to do is just snap together the kit, and it's done. I think it's even colored.
I'm not sure, but that looks like a fun little kit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's another one I had my eye on a little bit. I think it's Scooby-Doo. That's a fun one.
Yeah.
And there's all those egg playing kits that are out there. The eggs and egg ships now too. So
my fiance bought one of those. In fact, just recently, because she's never actually built a model kit before, and she bought a Zero, Mitsubishi Zero, in one of those egg kits because it looks cute and it looks fun, and she thought that would be a good kit to learn on. So we're gonna.
Well, I would, yeah. The snap builds are pretty much for kids without the inhalation of the glue that we tolerate.
Yeah, but they called the Defiant a snap kit.
Well, yeah, and I think if you snap it together and you hold it a certain way, it'll stay together. But once you let it go, it falls apart.
Explodes. It's really frightening. Yeah.
All right, but would you say these kits that we were talking about, this Red Baron, Snoopy's Red Baron, and the Jetson car, and even whatever, would you consider those like serious builds?
Oh yeah.
Well, it's going to depend on your own approach, really, isn't it? I mean, you can approach almost any kit with wild abandon, I suppose.
Yeah, I agree. It depends on how you want to approach it. I mean, if I were to build that Jetsons car, it would be a fun little build, and it would be really more just to, get away from some of the other stuff, but I would still be putting in, extra little details. Knowing me, I'd probably try to light up the control panel inside and things like that. So
fair enough. Enough time killing because I'm trying to bring some stuff to the other window here to the screen share, but I'm not having much luck. So that's why I'm trying to drag out this subject as much as possible. But I like the Jetsons. I think the Jetsons is the one that I feel most sentimental to. Although if they put out a Fred Flintstone car, I'd do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I would feel the same way.
Pretty sure they did at one time.
Yeah, there was a Fred Flintstone model at one time, yeah.
Oh, was it? Huh.
Actually, they did both his and Barney Rubble's car, if I remember right.
Oh, really? Barney Rubble's was a log, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A log.
The thing I like about what Nick did is, and I don't know how much of that was kit. Okay, I'm just trying to think back because I did watch his build when he built it. He actually, it's not just Snoopy sitting on the kennel. He put Snoopy flying the damn kennel, and that to me was cool. So, and I'm pretty sure he scratched the kennel. I don't think that was a kit. I'm not sure.
Scratch build.
Scratch built. So, I mean, he had the vision to just do this thing, and he did a great job. And it's one thing to take a simple kit and do it as a fun build, but it's what you turn it into.
Yeah.
That becomes the serious part of it, because you're not just slapping together the kit. Oh, that was fun. I painted it. Now put it aside. But what can I do with this that's going to be a little different? And as Jay said, he would take the basic fun little kit and turn it into something, a serious effort to do something different.
Yeah.
Just my opinion.
Well,
I'll shut up.
The George Jetson car being chased by the Terminator robots or something. I don't know. See what it would look like after that. That will be destroying a childhood fantasy of being in that kind of a world. I always liked their treadmill. the one thing I really remember is the treadmill in our home.
Hanging outside the house, yeah.
Hanging outside the house, and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? It's kind of cool to fall off the treadmill and not get hurt, because in cartoons nobody ever got hurt. And here I stabbed myself with a knife yesterday, and I'm like, I wish I was a cartoon.
There is actually another cartoon kit coming out that I'm very excited about. I can screen share it if you want.
Johnny Quest?
It's Mobius is this is a preliminary model, that I think was at the convention this weekend. But this is the Dragonfly from Johnny Quest.
Johnny Quest, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm really looking forward to that. Someone's calling.
Yeah.
Very nice. Look at that.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's been a while looking at that model, trying to determine whether or not they were just taped or scribed, but it looks like all the panel lines are scribed into the model.
Yeah, we zoomed in on it pretty good, and you can see that they are scribed. At least most of them are scribed in. So that I'm really excited about this model, and considering it really wasn't in the show that much, but still it was in every episode. It was in the opening credits, even though technically the opening credits were for a different cartoon series. But
Yeah.
What show was that from, Jay?
They originally were going to do a cartoon version of the old radio show Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. And they couldn't, and they did some test animation, including the natives throwing the spears at the flying, hovercraft thing and the dragonfly, and they couldn't get the rights to do that. And so they came up with a different idea, and the different idea was Johnny Quest, and they incorporated that animation into what became Johnny Quest.
Interesting. That's 60s?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was one of the few primetime cartoons originally, and then they started running it on Saturday mornings, and then parental groups started complaining because people actually got killed on that show, So
Raised parents got a lot of people.
yeah, and so they tried censoring and editing them, and it was junk. But once they did that.
Okay, I finally got the internet working, albeit a little slow. I'm going to screen share something here. And it's a bar graph. Come on, share. Okay, there we go. This is Wild House models. And, oops, sorry. Let's go back. This is results of a survey that Neil was doing, asking his fans as to what to build next. Well, as you see, human space military combat ships is what everybody seems to want. And then, of course, following that are more ships. But there is some favor, 1 to 9 scale figures. I just think that's very interesting that model builders, particularly the variety that he's attracting, the sci-fi variety, like to build ships.
Well, I don't know about whether or not it's just the ships, but I didn't actually see if there was anything to accompany the options. So I don't know if there was any pictures of what the ships might look like or what the ground transport might look like. So I think when you look at just the idea of it, of the options that he's got there, you can kind of see what people might be interested in, because they've got their own ideas of what it might be like. So he's got something like a ground transport mining vessel and stuff like that. So I don't know whether or not he put up any illustrations of what those might look like to give people a better impression as to what to bring out. So maybe that's just people with their own ideas of what it might be like,
Yeah, but I guess my question is that, not necessarily getting into the talk about sci-fi, you get people who, like Four Wheels, for an example, they want to make them 16 and build only trucks of every sort. Or, in fact, we'll have somebody in October talking about truck building in October. and or cars, or just simply cars. And some people just do military. There's a lot of members.
If you look at what he's done there, he's done a ground-based mining transport. Well, nobody really knows what that's going to look like, so it's difficult to choose that because you don't really know what it's going to be like. I mean, I would think a ground-based mining transport could be this sort of heavy-duty, quite detailed vehicle that could look really, really cool.
Yeah, I agree. In fact, I will be interested in that, and I can kill two birds with one stone: maintain my love for sci-fi and build armor.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know, Carwin's got a good point. I mean, if let's say whatever model company said, we're going to do a new Star Trek kit, what would you rather see? And then they just gave you names of, you know, names of ships that don't exist in the Star Trek universe. You know, said this particular scout ship or this particular mining ship. It would be really hard to say what you'd want to see and what you wouldn't, because you don't have any idea of what will the model look like. You know, I mean,
you've got no frame of reference. It's just, I mean, they all look like cool ideas. You know, 1/9 scale human miner with mining equipment. That'd be a pretty cool thing, but that's leaving it up to your own imagination to describe what it is.
Yeah.
You know, so it's tough when you're faced with those choices. It's asking you for what's your favorite flavor of glue.
Not that it tastes Oh, God.
I think a couple of little illustrations as to what they might look like would help people make choices. Just to flesh out a little bit. But you know, I'd be interested in seeing the human space military combat ships, but I'd be equally interested in the mining transport. So,
speaking of vehicles and combat vehicles, when I went to see Lucy, there was if I'm not mistaken, now you guys got to correct me, because when I have a memory like a steel sieve, it retains most things, but some things it doesn't. And that would be, they're making a new Mad Max movie.
Yes.
Yeah, on the road. Yes.
They are repopulating.
And you know something, other than the updated editing and hardware, it all looks the same as the original.
Well, it's being done by the guy who done the original.
Yeah, that helps.
Oh, is that so?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's being done by the guy who done the original Mad Max.
And this particular build, Dork Pitt had put it on. It had something to do with Mad Max. Big Bopper from the movie Mad Max is completed. He shared this from somewhere. It don't look messy enough.
The paper kit.
Is this a paper kit?
Uh-huh.
Okay, James.
Yes.
It's your turn.
I thought that was the paper kit he was attempting on, and he was actually building. He's in the process of building all of the cars. He's trying to build all the cars, and I know there's a couple of designers out there that are working on designing all of the Mad Max cars in paper. So that's what he's following on.
Have you built something like this?
I haven't built that. I've only built really one car, and that was that I did a smart car that I built for my sister last year. Which I don't know if I've got.
Well, I'm going to share this, and Jay's going to talk about this. It looks like a candelabra.
Oh yeah, that is the Cosmostrator. That's from that bad science fiction movie,
I love that.
first spaceship on Venus, and it's so incredibly well-built kit. There was very, very little in the way of puttying that was needed. Went together very, very fast. The points that are on that thing, I can tell you, are very, very sharp, because that are on the nacelle or on the engines there, because while I was putting it together, I actually drew blood on one of my fingers from it. But that was put together, and then I masked off the cockpit area, which is that clear part near the top, and painted it with black. Actually, I went over it with alcohol first to get rid of any grease. Then I painted it with Tamiya gloss black and let that sit overnight, and then I painted it with all-clad chrome.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just sitting on a temporary base there, but yeah, it's so shiny and so smooth, and it just went together so well. A nice kit.
Yeah, you know some things about design. Would that be considered Art Deco?
Probably. I'm trying to remember who made the movie. It was not an American-made movie. Oh, I can't remember. I think it might have even been a Swedish film. I can't. I'm going to have to look it up now. So you talk amongst yourselves.
We have here Jeffrey Blizzard. I think he's one of the new members. And incidentally, kids, the amount of members have increased by 7 members since yesterday. It is now at 911.
All
and
right.
wouldn't it be nice if we could have 1,000 by our first anniversary, which is really, I think, I have to look at it, but sometime this month it's a year for the Hangouts, I believe. So,
Yeah, it's only a couple of weeks time.
yep, and I think right now we're at number 35 for this, or 34, number 34. Probably all wrong. It's probably 36 in reality, but we've had a pretty good year.
Yeah.
How you doing, Joe?
Hey, what's up, Jack?
Not much. You're a little late.
You know what? My Uncle Baltan said, better late than never.
That's true. That's true. And we have here Jeffrey Blizzard. In fact, we don't want to see that. Help me out, guys.
Looks like a World War II plane.
P-51 Mustang.
It's not a car.
Yeah,
Is that a Mustang?
Yep.
looks like it.
Okay. Okay. The paint job. I wonder if this kit came with those decals for the checkers and the stretch on the tips of the wings.
Highly likely. They painted the noses of those Mustangs all sorts of different colours and patterns and things. So yeah, the checker is not unusual.
Why did they do that? Do you know?
Squadron identification.
Yeah, in the early part of the war, most of the planes were painted like sky blue underneath and green or something like that, camouflage on the top to help keep them from being spotted. But later in the war, when things were going real well, they did any damn thing they wanted because they didn't care if they saw us coming.
Mm-hmm.
You know. By the way, just very quick, first spaceship on Venus was made in 1960, and it was an East German-Polish film. So,
It's an American independent company, though. By the
yeah,
looks of it.
American Independent released it. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it was bad enough to be in the second season of Mystery Science Theater 3000. So,
And I know Tony McCash is watching. I just have a feeling because he's online and he usually watches the Sunday Hangout.
He's always watching.
I know. I'm going to really embarrass him because every time he doesn't show up, I like to embarrass him on the show, on Sunday night anyway. And what I have here is a screen share of his blog, The Irate Modeler. And there is a reason why I'm bringing this up. Do you guys do any of this stuff yourself?
No.
I'm supposed to, but I don't very much.
I have a job. I can't be doing this.
I call it social not working. I think, I hate it. I would.
We're talking about the blog itself, Jack, maintaining the blog, or are you talking about all that?
Maintaining a blog. I mean, I just published a YouTube video, which took me, I'd say 4 weeks to get it on. You know.
Yeah.
But I'm like, well, I know Tony. Tony does have a little bit more time than I do, I think. But he's an extraordinary modeler, and I'm glad that he's doing this. Particularly his Voyager build. He's chronicalizing it on his blog here.
Yeah.
And I did read it, and it's really well done. It's very well done. And I want to get to the glamour shots. By the way, his sensor, there's a sensor dish, or his deflector dish, is like awesome because it's painted orange, yellow, gold, whatever it is, and then when it's lit up, it's blue like it's supposed to be. I think and it didn't even turn out green. I don't know how that happened. But I guess paint put together would make it green, and light put together would make it green, wouldn't it, Jay?
It depends on how thick the yellow paint is and how bright the blue LEDs are. But yellow and blue don't always make green. That's
if the blue is overpowering, then it'll just come out blue.
Also, the back parts are probably black.
Mm-hmm.
So there wasn't enough blue touching the front of the gold, so it wouldn't reflect because if he painted the parts black on the back and then used canopy clear glue to adhere it, you wouldn't have that confrontation in those two tones to radiate a blue hue. It just wouldn't happen.
Right. And you don't have to like sci-fi to recognize that this paint job is beyond belief.
Yeah, it's great.
It looks
it's a beautiful job on that.
He certainly did.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. The one thing I really, really like on the model is the fact that the windows aren't overpoweringly bright. They're not glaring, they do not burn your eyes out bright. So I really like the level that he's chosen.
I agree with you, Carlin, man. A lot of times these beautiful models look fake because the lighting is too bright.
It looks like a Christmas tree.
In the real world, if you ever seen an aircraft carrier at night up, in the real world, it's not that bright.
Yeah.
That's a huge ship. That's comparable, and in our real world to something like that,
But yeah, he's done a bang-up job all around. It's a very, very well done model.
He can actually sell that if he wanted to, but he's not going to.
Yeah.
But the issue of blogs is we don't have the time, or even if we did have the time, would we do it? I wouldn't. I don't know about you guys.
I've got one for Evil Duck that I just started, and when I say just started, it's like earlier this week, and there's like virtually nothing on it right now.
Post the link up, Jack. I'll join it. Post the link up, buddy. I'll join it.
I will. I can't even remember what it is right now, but I will. I'll put it up online once I've got some content on it. I will.
Oh, you don't have it up yet?
I don't, off the top of my head, remember what it is. It's a WordPress site. I figure if it's good enough for Steve Neal, it's good enough for me.
Yeah.
I like your approach.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried operating a blog a few years ago. I found I just couldn't keep the momentum to keep it up all the time. It became more of a job than fun. So
well,
I let it die.
I wanted to start a blog too when I started back in modeling, and then I found you guys, and that idea quit because I spend my spare time with you guys and modeling, of course. Although I have a degree in English creative writing, so I haven't written a word since since college. But anyway, a blog. Yeah, you're right. A blog just seems like too much trouble and too much commitment. It's just too much there to do.
Yeah,
I just sort of think of my Google Plus page as a blog.
Oh yeah, you know what? That's about right. I started using it that way, but I really didn't. I don't write everything because everything on it is broadcast stuff.
Yeah.
only payment you're going to get from running a blog is the fun of doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that you know, that's worth it to some people.
And if you don't watch a lot of TV shows or you don't have a radically busy social life, then blogs are almost like a little, like writing a diary, man. I mean, I got mine. I've been running for a year, and I make myself do 7 posts minimum a month, so a couple a week. And it's like a diary, man. I mean, like if, say, I see a new cool Star Trek model that'll fit my scale for Star Trek Attack Wing, I'll say, hey, check this out, and post it and say, hey, this is available from this company. I recommend it. I've dealt with them. They're not going to steal from you. Yeah. I'm going to use it for my stuff. One little paragraph, a picture, a link, done. That's a post.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be some great sprawling adventure every post, man. Just you're sharing information. And I got almost 100 of you guys on the Google Plus, sound like 90 some. And it's cool because it kind of keeps you coming. You know, when you're, you know, if you're a single guy and you love this stuff, it's like a diary.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
Well, I would rather read a blog about modeling or some activity somebody does instead of about what they had for breakfast and what their political views.
Those types of blogs are just like that's no different than a Facebook page, something silly, you know.
I don't tell people I know what I'm doing. I'm certainly not going to tell a bunch of strangers.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is almost a video blog, isn't it? So.
Yeah, I'm just so against this stuff. It's so, you know, I hate it. Twitter, Facebook.
Yeah,
I would agree with you, but we're kind of confining it to the modeling hobby or some other hobby that, like an adventurer, a daredevil, a hunter, you name it. But I think a lot of times people do their personal things. They air their personal laundry. But this is this. But the thing is that when you're modeling, I even have a hard time having a camera over my shoulder filming, let alone actually sit down and vlog.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't like filming myself building something unless I'm doing it as a demonstration of how to do it.
Mm.
You know, I
just posted a video of me modeling. It's like 7 minutes long.
One time, man. You ought to, though, Scratchy, because it might be funny.
Good point.
Probably you'll get, if you do it and you just like set up a tripod and it's like, you know what I mean, like right here, and you're, you know what I mean, over the shoulder, and you're like, dang on it, blah blah blah, and you won't even realize you're saying it, and it'll be.
You know what? It was really funny though when I was editing that. I guess that would be a way to blog, is to like just set a camera up, start modeling, and it's filming. But of course, when you're editing, you got to edit it way down to what you want to actually have. And when I was shutting the sound off, I realized that I was filming and building this model while I was on a private hangout with some of you guys. And it was almost like killing 2 birds with 1 stone. I was socializing, modeling, and doing well, actually 3 things.
Plus, you were breathing.
Yeah.
What's that?
Plus, you were even breathing.
Oh yeah, I was breathing too. At some point, I had even belched, and you know. I knew when I was filming it, I knew I wasn't going to use the sound track that was on the video because I overlaid music on it. So, I think though, I'm trying out a new way of doing my videos instead of just like talking and dictating and talking and dictating. Just film it, and if there's something I want to say, put it on a graphic, insert it in between the frames of the film. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you can also record your audio after the fact.
Music has a rhythm, and my thinking is that if something has a rhythm, like music does, people will sit and watch.
Yeah.
You go look on YouTube, man. You know, a lot of you guys know me. Know I'm a more miniature gaming. Man, if you go look on YouTube and look up like Star Wars X-Wing battles or Star Trek Attack Wing or anything, there are so many videos, and people have dedicated channels.
Yeah.
And you do get a following, and you do. I mean, like you say we enjoy hanging out with each other, and we do. I mean, I think it's no different, man. You're watching somebody, and you know you're just enjoying their work, and it keeps you company, and you can even monetize it, and YouTube will pay you a little bit of money based on your hits, how many ads have been clicked on, what have you.
Yeah.
Right.
If you want to do that, you know. So you can actually make a little bit of money on it.
I've monetized some videos, and I have a good number of views, and I don't think I have a dime. I'm not seeing a dime. So it's rigged. It's rigged in a way that you're not going to get anything.
Well, actually, I know people who do. I know
Yeah, I've
people.
heard guys say they get a few $100 a month on it too.
Yeah, I know some people have made a little bit of cash off of that. I mean, I haven't, but that's not unusual. So
It's better than a get rich quick scheme.
yeah,
No, you're not going to get rich doing it, that's for sure, but it's like a little hobby play money, you know?
yeah.
Now, if you're some saucy little wench just talking about movies in a bikini, then you might get some.
Yeah, I don't want to see. I don't want anybody to see me in a bikini.
Those girls, you see them, they'll get like 70,000 freaking hits on their video.
Yeah.
And then there's a cool little Star Wars video that gets like 1,000, you know? It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
I just want to jump in here because we've been talking about Tony McCash and he's been on. He said that he glued .01 styrene inside the hull.
No, don't be reading what he's writing. He has to come on and talk about it.
He's already commented and saying no, he hates being on camera.
And yet he hangs out with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get him to turn his camera feature off and then just be his icon and his voice.
Guy.
He's going to hate me after I get done with him. So what did he say? Go ahead.
Yeah, well, he talking about the windows. He said he glued .01 styrene inside the hull instead of filling them with anything. That's how he managed to get them to look recessed and yeah. You know.
That's a really good idea because that that lets
it instantly frosts the windows as well. So you know.
Yeah, I've actually have done that on some builds, but when I saw it, I didn't think that's what it would be.
Yeah.
Jack, you wanted me to mention this stuff I found at. I got this at Hobby Lobby. Yes, I do still occasionally shop there because they're the only place that has some things that I do need. But this was on clearance, so it's probably on clearance on all of them. This is called a Ferro Special Effect Paste, and what it actually is acrylic paint mixed with ground stone. So it can be sculpted on. I'm thinking for building like dioramas.
Yeah, well, it looks like something my dog left behind.
Yeah, it does. There's gold and there's a silver color and probably other colors, but it gives you that graininess that dirt or sand or something like that would give you. I'm probably going to use it for the base when I make the base of the Luna.
How much is the jar that you got there?
Normally it's $8. I got it for $3.
Well, how much fluid ounces is it or weight?
It's black against real dark, so I can't really see. But there's it's a good sized jar. It's
okay.
There's quite a bit in here. It says this is graphite, which means it's possible that this would be electrically conductive as well.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to make electrically conductive paint, it's actually pretty easy to do. Just take powdered graphite and mix it with either white glue or acrylic paint, and you will have paint that conducts electricity.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Is that really possible?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Just imagine you could coat the inside of your starship with that and use that as the ground bus.
As the ground. I was just thinking that.
Well, I was going to experiment a little bit with that, see about, if it works well enough to run lighting and things like that. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to paint a circuit on the inside of your ship?
Absolutely.
I'm not sure how conductive it would be. I don't know how much of a loss you might get.
I don't know, but I do know that it's virtually the same thing that you can buy pens that have conductive ink. You can get them for like radio.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. And they're about $12 up to $20. I've seen them, but I keep thinking I want to get one of these days and test that, because if I can not have to run so dang many wires through the model, and
Well,
rather
what kind of
just
wires do you use?
well, it depends. I'll use magnet. It depends on what I'm doing. If I use magnet wire if I don't have a lot of room.
Uh-huh.
I use really fine multi-strand like 28 gauge or whatever. Really fine, whatever the thinner gauge is. I can't remember.
I've got horrible visions of somebody putting holes in the model where they're trying to solder onto it.
No, I'm not talking about soldering on it, but sometimes I use copper tape, which is also nice because that's adhesive on one side, so you can run copper tape up through things. And whenever I'm running power in, I use heavier wires. Even though I could get by running magnet wire, I almost always run heavier wire.
I think it is mentioning as well, Jay, that you also changed the way that you put in power into your rocket.
That's right. On the Luna, I don't have it. Like I said, it's in the other room, but I'll use this as an example. The Luna has 3 reasonably normal fins, but then there's a support that sticks out the back. This in fact is the support that sticks out the back to help it stand. That was on the original model, and the fins and everything for the model are all solid plastic. They're not 2 halves you glue together. So there wasn't really any easy way to run wires up into the model, and I thought about trying to gouge this and run some magnet wire, but it just was so thin that it struck me. I don't know that it would work. So what I did, I'll grab it here.
Look at my eyeball here for a second.
I traced this onto a piece of bare circuit board, which is copper on both sides. I traced this onto it and put a very, very thin layer of plastic on each side, and attached magnet wire, to this, and on the inside of the spaceship. So what I have is this side of the thing is positive, the other side is negative, and that runs the power up into the model.
Isn't that clever?
And it works really nice.
And if you cover it, and you say you covered it with plastic just so you can paint over it easily enough.
It was. I actually covered it with plastic because this was just slightly too thin. I found if I put 0.01 plastic on each side, it ended up exactly the same thickness as the model.
It also works as an insulator as well, because you don't want to grab it by the fin and have your eyes light up.
That's true. That's true. It does insulate it. So, and so I took the little piece here that was originally supposed to go on the model, and I glued some 200 grit sandpaper around the edge, so I have a nice fine little interior reach sander that I can get into small places in models and such.
Like half-inch high airlocks.
Yeah, like a half-inch high airlock. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to find out ways to do stands and whatnot to run electricity through them, but make the stand as minimally as possible, And what you did is very much in the same vein as you minimize what stand that you have. You put it in a diorama, and your fin is already can be electrified, and it'll be fine. It'll create a circuit. But the only thing you can't, well, maybe you can, because you said there's 3 of them, that there was certain circuits that were blinking, one for main lights, the other for blinkers or whatnot. You could have done all 3 fins, really.
Yeah, you could even do it. Have contacts on the base and at the bottom of your model, so that when the model is sitting on the base, it lights up, and you take it off the base and it stops. If there are.
Yeah, and if you take your Dremel tool and channel it, you can actually put more than 1 circuit on each side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I could have etched it. I've got all the tools to do photo etching and everything. I could have etched it and made that an actual circuit board to run various things in. But that model's I'm only running 2 LEDs inside it, and that's it. So
I went to the RC shop today, bought some Squadron, and I bought this. It's called Music Wire.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this is about as thin as probably, I'd say, a pretty thick strand of human hair. This is what they use in pianos, by the way. That's why it's called musical wire. And RC people use this as control devices.
Yeah.
And this is probably thin enough to put along a clear piece of plexiglass, for an example, into the model and be able to electrify it.
Yeah.
And of course, the clear acrylic would make it less obtrusive. I just throw that out there that there are many ways.
I think it's fun to come up with ways to incorporate parts of the model into the circuit. You know, like you were saying, so that so that it actually that means I'm going to have to test this to make sure that it isn't conductive, because if it is conductive, then I won't be able to use it on the stand for the Luna.
You said the glue, a glue that would be conductive. That would be extraordinary.
Yeah, yeah. I read an article about it just recently, and I will find the article and post a link to it on the site, because it's pretty fascinating.
Well, you can even do aluminum foil for that matter.
Yeah.
I'm not saying maybe wrap the inside the model with aluminum foil, but I'm saying that. Well, you see, I've been learning how to use, like, the ground particularly. You really don't have to lead the ground through the entire model. You don't have to do it. Just do one lead and it's good to go.
Usually,
and just getting it through the entire model is a challenge. And if you're lighting cars or like some of the military ships that Phil is building, like if you do the aircraft carriers that same scale, it would behoove you not to learn how to do some wiring. Maybe we can, I don't know, talk about wiring someday.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Well, anyway, kids, a whole hour has passed, and I very much enjoy these Hangouts, as well as enjoy these guys. These guys are great. I learned so much from them. And without you, there wouldn't be a Google Plus community that's as vibrant, as active as we are. We have probably anywhere between 5 and 10 new members every week, if not more sometimes. And not every single one of them, but many of them post. And I thank them all for teaching me something about the hobby. I'd like to thank you, Bob, for joining us. Maybe we have at least one thing in common, the same build.
Yeah, Bob's does have tailplanes.
And thanks.
Too.
What's that?
Almost got the duck base done also.
Yeah, that's just amazing. That's amazing. And thanks, Carwin, for coming by and staying up so late up out there in the UK. And keep making firearms.
It is my pleasure. I love this community. I love the people in it. I love seeing what everybody's doing. It's a pleasure to just be a part of this community.
Oh, awesome. I feel the same way. And James, you're the paper guy. And we even showed a paper model today that was built by somebody else. So there is a place for paper among us plastic guys.
Oh, there is.
He's a rebel.
So it's like another challenge, to try something different.
Yeah.
And Phil, thank you for stopping by
No
and showing off your battleship. Is it?
Yep.
Yes, the Missouri.
Yes.
It's
Always fun, Jack. Always fun.
And Joe, thank you for stopping by too. Of course, it's the first time he's been quiet. Just kidding.
Oh, it's just kicking in. There
There it is. Hi, there it is, Joe. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I had to reset my modem and decided to be cute.
Well, when it happens to me and I'm broadcasting, it's a lot of fun. I know.
When you're the man in charge of everything in the studio.
I had to come in 3 times today. So thanks for stopping by. And Jay, you are the mad genius. And when you figure these things out, I'm just in awe. that some of the solutions that you have are so incredibly simple.
Yeah, well, I think that's the best way to do it is keep it simple, stupid. It's fine.
All right, thanks for all joining us. We'll have everybody have a good night. You all have a good night too, and see you in 2 weeks.
Take care.
Good night.